Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be the second video in my Halloweek series. Today we're going to be turning ourselves into a colorful skull. I don't really know what I'm going to get into here. Kind of just going to make it up as I go along, but I figured I could take you guys on the journey. If you recreate these looks, feel free to leave me a comment down below. Let me know how it turned out, and let's go on and get started. Okay, so I'm going to be using a mixture of the Temp 2 SB in 01 and the Makeup Designer White airbrush liquids. I'm just going to mix these two together. I'm going to apply it all over my face. Everyone knows how to turn themselves white, so we're going to skip this part and I'll be back when my face is all white, okay? Okay, so now pale as a ghost, what I did is I just applied it with a flat foundation brush and I used my beauty blender to kind of smooth and even everything out. Since this is an airbrush liquid, it doesn't really need to be set down with powder, so I'm just going to leave it to dry on its own. Of course, if you know you're using something that moves around, set it. If you don't set it, you will regret it. That rhymed, I didn't mean to. So next, I think I've decided on using purples for this look. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use this NYX corrector palette. I'm going to dip into this like lavendery purple shade, and this is going to be my mapping color. So basically what I like to do is kind of just map everything out, where it's going to go, and then give yourself kind of like a template as to where, you know, things are going to wind up. So what I'm going to do is map out my eyelids first. I hope you guys can see this. And I'm doing it in a lighter color because I feel like if you make a mistake, you won't necessarily have to like wipe it all off and do it again because it is lighter, you know? Okay, so starting from the back of the cheek here, we're just going to make a wonky looking shape. So it's going to go out, go back in, go back out, go back in. For your teeth and your jaw, you're going to start the line kind of above your upper lip, right by your cupid's bow. And you're going to bring this up. You want to make sure these can kind of connect at some point, so they're going to come out like this. You're going to bring it below the corner of your mouth. And you're going to make these two connect up here. That pretty much completes all your hard shadows. So what I'm going to do is, I should use this purple liner. I'm going to go over the shapes with a purple liner so that you can see them better. Okay, so basically what I've done on this side is outlined it with our shadow color. So I used a mixture of these Graftobian cream wheels. So I have a blue in here and I have another one with a red. So I mixed them together to make a like deep purple. I'm just going around what we had initially drawn. Okay, so this shape that's in the back of our jaw, we're actually going to fill pretty much the whole thing in. So I'm going to use that same paint. Just kind of fill it in lightly. We're going to go over this with shadow to make it more like, you know, make some more depth. So you just want to get like a base color. Okay, so I'm just going to take that same purple color. I'm going to take my Obsessive Compulsive Cosmetics black, a skinny brush again, and we're going to go once again around the edges. And then we're going to repeat the same thing with the black. You just want to smudge that in. Okay, so next I'm going to start by taking a dark plum eyeshadow on a fluffy brush. And I'm just going to go in and set all the dark parts first. Okay, so what I did, I just went ahead and did this side of my face, and I'm going to take you through the steps. I realized it would probably take me forever if I didn't. So, I'm going through and continuing to shade in the eye sockets. I'm using a black shadow. This is Corrupt from Makeup Geek, and a flat kind of blending brush. Bringing that in. I'm going to do that to all the shadows, so just using that black. Going to bring this in. So this one, as you can see, I made quite dark, so I'm going to bring the shadow in more, because this is just basically like a gaping hole. And then taking that fluffy brush that we used the purple with, just smoothing everything out. Next I'm going to take a darker purple shade. I'm going to go all over my eyelid and bring that up, kind of blend everything together. I have to fix that. I'm going to do the same thing on my nose and the same thing in the space here. To make the teeth, it's important that you find a triangle shaped brush. This, you're going to dip into like a thick cream. So I'm using, again, one of those Mayron wheels. And I'm getting some nice white on my brush. What you're going to do is you're going to start by pressing and pulling the brush down. So start where you would like your tooth to start. You're going to press and pull. And then you're going to leave a small gap next to it. And then press and pull. Just create a line, that way you have a base to go off of. I'm going to do that now. So this line is going to go from here all the way into this space. So taking the black cream paint and a skinny brush, you're going to make lines in between all the teeth. So where the two sections meet, you're going to take your black and shade that in. Okay, to make it a little bit more soft, I'm just going to go in with the black eyeshadow on that same brush. Just go over that line. So for these accent marks, which are like my favorite part of all of this, so I already made this one just because I wanted them to kind of be symmetrical, and that purple eyeshadow that we've been using. So for this one's pretty good. So this is going to be our temple, so you can find your temple on your head. And we're just going to create an L. Or is this backwards? You want to do this ever so slightly. Going to shade in the inside. So that pretty much completes the skeleton look. Of course, you can go through this with traditional black colors, or I could use fun colors. I used this kind of muted purple, and I think it came out pretty cool. So if you like this video and want to see more in this Halloweek series, please give me a big thumbs up and make sure you subscribe so I know that you enjoyed it. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye!